Okay, I'd like to rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we thank you for allowing us to gather here tonight, city officials and elected officials and members of the city. God, we ask you to watch over our beautiful city, protect it, protect our police, firemen, residents, city workers. And I pray that you watch over Michael Walsh as he gets sworn in tonight. May he protect our city, serve our city.
Mr. Smolik,
Here.
Mr. Ziegler,
Here.
Mr. Fenstermaker,
Here.
Mr. Hamer,
Here.
Mr. Scholes, Ms. Grazia. Here. Ms. Simons. Here.
Okay, I'd like to take this time to suspend the rules of council.
Evening, everyone.
I don't know, Jim.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to welcome everyone who has joined us this evening. Tonight, the Kirtland Police Department is taking another step in our building process by swearing in a new member, Michael Walsh, as a police officer. Let me first take a minute to introduce Mike to all of you and the residents here. Officer Walsh grew up in the city of Mentor and graduated from Mentor High School a long time ago. Not quite that long ago. Officer Walsh served our country as an Army Airborne infantryman stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. After Officer Walsh's military service, he attended and graduated Cleveland Heights Police Academy in the year 2000. Officer Walsh started his career as a law enforcement officer with the Lake County Sheriff's Office in the Court Service Section. Officer Walsh continued his career and moved on to serve with the Wade Hill Police Department from 2003 to 2016, where he obtained the rank of sergeant, and that's probably where most of you have seen him from. During that time, he also served as a member of the Western Lake County Emergency Response Team as a sniper. In 2016, Officer Walsh continued his career, moving on to the Lake Metro Park Rangers, where he rose to the rank of lieutenant in 2001. Officer Walsh's last day with the Metro Park Service was yesterday. Congratulations, Mike. Officer Walsh is married to his wife, Susan, and their son's name is Colton. Officer Walsh's family is a longtime Geauga County resident, and we look forward to the wealth of knowledge and experience he will bring to our agency. Mike, I'd like to introduce you to everybody, and Mayor, if you would do the honors, please.
Come on up.
Okay, come on over here. Where's our Bible? Okay. Raise your right hand, and this is the oath of office for the Kirtland Police Department. Repeat after me. I, Michael Walsh, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, the Charter, the ordinances and resolutions of the City of Kirtland. And I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge my duties as police officer
discharge my duties as police officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So,
So help me God.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Kelly White,
Oh, yeah.
related, right, to Kelly, or how do you know him? No, okay.
Thank you. Good to see you guys. Colton, take care, buddy. Thank you. You too.
Okay, like to start up the council meeting for this evening. We have a public hearing on the tax budget for the fiscal year 2026. Discussion? Anyone here to speak? Anybody here to speak? Okay. All right, so we can close the public hearing on the tax budget for fiscal year 2026. Moving on to the reading of the approval of the minutes of the June 16th, 2025 work session meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Smolik with a motion to approve, Ms. Gracia with a second. Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler. Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Moving on to the minutes of the June 16th, 2025 council meeting. Looking for a motion to approve?
Second?
Ms. Gracia with the motion to approve, Mr. Smolik with the second. Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Just real quick, there was a question as to whether you are allowed to vote on the approval of the minutes if you were not present. Robert's rules do allow members to vote on the approval of the minutes even though they were not present at the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to the department reports. Chief Hutton?
Thank you, Mr. President. The June report was sent out. You should all have that. A couple things to update council on. We updated to our new station alerting system in Kirtland and for the most part, Western Lake County within the last 2 weeks. So we're all on the same page as far as the west end. We've eliminated the old low band system, which is basically World War II technology. So we're on the 800 system, west end wide. We used that new alerting system on Saturday. We had a pretty significant structure fire at a detached garage that damaged 2 houses on Worrell Road. We were able to activate the automatic aid and Mavis groups were able to respond pretty quick. It was a very hot day, so our guys got beat up pretty bad. I want to thank the departments that responded. Also want to thank Mr. Fernaro, who came out with the backhoe to help us with some overhaul on a Saturday, as Joe would and Joe does. Other than that, I'm open for any questions.
Okay, any questions for Chief Hutton this evening?
They figure out how that started?
We're not quite sure. We believe it was accidental. We're still trying to iron a couple things out on it, but definitely an accidental fire.
No fireworks accidents, I hope? Everybody has their fingers?
Yes, although there were a lot of fireworks, we didn't have a lot of incidents with fireworks from our end. Can't speak for the police.
Okay, anything else for Chief Hutton? Okay, moving on, Lieutenant Fisher.
Good evening, everyone. I think the big news from the police department was what just occurred today. We also have potentially another one next week if we get the medical results back in time. According to the CAD, the weekend was fairly quiet when it came to fireworks complaints, thankfully. And, other than that, I have nothing else to report. I'm open for any questions you may have.
Any questions for Lieutenant Fisher this evening?
We're continuing to see complaints from people related to the detour. Just to give you an opportunity to go on the record and talk about what we're doing to mitigate some of that traffic.
Sure. We have received numerous complaints, of course. We have a standing target traffic enforcement area over there, which runs pretty much from Route 6 all the way to our Wade Hill border on Hobart. We have definitely noticed an increase in traffic volume, which we expected. However, we are not seeing the excessive speed. Most of them are in the high 30s, low 40s, which are pretty much in our range. Every once in a while, we'll get a 50, and we are taking enforcement action on anything in that range. The truck traffic has slowed. We've been enforcing that as well. So I think it was Mr. Lesnick posted a picture, or was it Mr. Lowry? Picture of the bridge construction, and it's moving along quick. So hopefully they get that finished, and the valve will be back open over there, so the traffic will slow down.
That was Mr. Lowry that posted that. Yeah, he posted it on Facebook.
Thank you.
We running a dummy car up at Chapin on Hobart then? Okay.
I saw that. No one.
Helen noticed it and said to ask about it today, so.
I cannot confirm or deny whether it was a non-officer or not, but we are using,
I figured either no one's in it or one of your officers has been sleeping there for 48 hours, so.
I can assure you it was not one of the officers sleeping there, but we're going to use all kinds of tactics we can to get people to slow down. So I would encourage anybody who still believes and would want us to use their driveway or a better place for us to sit, we're more than welcome. So just give us a call and we will address them accordingly.
Well, one last question, and I don't know if there's any truth to it or not, but I saw something posted on social media about one of our cruisers in an accident over the weekend. Can you give us some information on that?
I sure can. One of our officers was responding to assist the fire call on Laurel Road, and at that intersection, traffic did fail to, or did yield. They were pulled over, and someone pulled out of Hobart Road to turn eastbound on Chardon Road. The officer was able to take evasive action and avoid collision with the car, took out the sign, missed 3 trees and a mailbox, and I would call that a win. Our officer was not hurt, minimal property damage, and minor damage to the cruiser. I would think Mr. Fernaro would concur with that assessment.
Okay, well, the important thing is nobody was hurt. All right, thank you for the update.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Fernaro.
Good evening, everybody. Start off as usual, thanking the team for a great job they did. Been working on some flooding issues. In case you haven't noticed, we got a lot of rain through the last week and a half. Mr. Courtney and myself come up with a list of stormwater projects that we're working on. The road program is up for approval tonight, so hopefully that'll get passed. We did start crack sealing. Mr. Smollett, 2 pellets, crack seal went down already. That will conclude my report.
Mr. Fernaro, the water issue on Eisenhower, making any progress?
The one has been resolved. The work's been done. The wood chips have all been taken out. Been down there. Of course, we haven't had a real heavy rain since that one, a couple Fridays ago. We had some rain. It worked well. But the work back there has been completed.
Okay.
And I did contact both the homeowner and the renter after the sort of significant rain we had after we had all been out to visit, and both of them reported that everything was fine and that it was doing what it was supposed to be doing. With the caution of, hey, it wasn't a lot, but it did what it was supposed to do in the amount of rain that we got. And so they're in good shape.
Yeah, just so we all know, that's part of a bigger project. So what was done was what was part of that easement. and
Okay.
has successfully completed, but it is part of a bigger drainage issue.
Okay. I can't remember the street that came to us at Coffee with Council the other day. Just south of Sixth. Bridlehurst.
Yep.
Yeah. Do we have any update on that? Is that in your
We do.
stormwater
It's-
project?
It's in the list of projects that we completed, so it's on our list. Now looking for funding and when it moves.
Okay.
I've also been contacted by a local civil engineer who's working with the homeowner on that issue, so I shared what I had with him. And so, yeah, Joe and I are working on that one too.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Fenaro this evening?
No, thank you to Joe and to Doug for going out and meeting with the homeowner. I know you guys have been out there a number of times, but I think it matters to them that they see us all out there and, they know that we're trying. And so I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Courtney?
Thank you, Council President. As Joe mentioned, the street paving contracts are on tonight's agenda. We would request that those get passed tonight, so we can move with getting contracts assembled and get everything rolling sooner than later. Kirtland Chardon Road paving, stage 1 plans were submitted to ODOT on June 30th for review. We should hear back from them within the month. Pavement cores and subsurface sampling were completed, and a subsurface report was received on the 2nd. I had a few comments on it, so I kicked it back. They're going to make some revisions and get that back to us. 306 sewer extension, we're still working on getting through the base mapping to see where additional ground survey is needed, and the subsurface work has been completed. We're awaiting the subsurface report on that. Wisner Wall, the field survey is complete, and the base plan has been transmitted to SME, so they can start looking at some design options on how to fix that issue. That concludes my report. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Courtney. Any further questions for Mr. Courtney this evening?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the over-under, so it looks like Prairie was the brunt of the overage on that one, where some of the other streets were under on it for the bid estimates. That 3A, is that Prairie's cost then?
Yeah, 3 and 3A. Yeah, that was a little over.
I see under on a couple of the other
1 and 1A are under, and 2 and 2A.
Just a little bit more, a little bit more
under, yeah,
extensive
so-
base repairs needed than originally thought, you think, or just?
Well, no, I think, this is just the market at work,
Oh,
right? Competing bids, that kind of thing.
okay.
My estimates are listed at the top. What the contractor's bid is listed in the table below. So in the aggregate, we're right there on my estimate.
Okay. Thank you, Don.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you. Nobody for service department this evening? Mr. Lalo?
Yeah, service department, that was Joe.
I mean, community.
Finance.
And, sorry, Joe. Mr. Lalo.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just as we've discussed earlier at the standing committee meeting, there is some changes that are going to be proposed for short-term rentals. I'll let the standing committee report back on that, but I do have some, I'll be able to provide some input if requested regarding that. Since last meeting, just more public record requests, responding to those, handling a typical prosecution cases. I think we have a trial coming up on a case. Nothing really to worry about regarding a lot of that. And then lastly, just wanted to publicly thank council and the city and administration for really just giving me the space needed or the time and patience dealing with my family medical issue. I'm happy to report back that everything is on the up and up and should all be clear is the hope, and it stays that way. but I know I had to miss a few meetings while tending to my family. And again, I really, truly just want to thank everybody from the city, not only just for, again, the patience, but reaching out and assistance, however that was. I really appreciate it. And Kirtland is a wonderful, wonderful community. Couldn't be happier with you guys, with the schools, with the city and residents. It really was remarkable. So just, again, wanted to thank everybody.
Well, Mr. Latwell, that's great news.
Yeah.
We're really glad to hear that, and I don't think there was any need to thank everybody. That is what Kirtland's about.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's doing well. That's great.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Council President. Really quickly, Ms. DeWolf is at training this week, so she asked me to pass along that tomorrow night we have a library concert. 6:30, Munchie's Mac food truck will be there, and that'll be out in the gazebo. Speaking of the gazebo, at the end of this month, Kiwanis has taken it upon themselves to raise the funds needed to replace the gazebo as it continues to need more and more maintenance and repair. So Kiwanis is going to take it down, Joe, would you say the 25th, 26th? And then put a new gazebo up, excuse me, the next week. So if any residents ask, it's not going away, it's just being improved.
Can we make it a pond? Get some geese back?
Ron, it's too soon still. Lake County General Health District's going to be out spraying mosquitoes this week. Julie wanted me to mention as well, Wednesday and Thursday. So keep an eye out for that. If you get any calls, that's what that noise is. And then just want to thank all of council, myself, and all the members of this Kirtland community and the city government for the support from me and my family over the last week. Since we lost my mother on the 27th. So thanks to everybody that sent well wishes and prayers and all that. So we really appreciate it. Made it as tolerable as I guess can be, and just appreciate it. Nothing easy about that. So related to moving on to the legislation, I think the preference would be, and the hope would be, that we would pass all legislation tonight on the docket. We have EPA fluoride reduction grant, and then that's the salt reduction grant, and then we have everything related to the financial side going from 36 down through, looks like 40 as well. And then we also have an ordinance related to the appropriation, but I think Lewis sent out a memo today. So all of those are kind of interrelated to, one's related to another. And then as part of that, don't forget, I think it's 25R38 is the one that is for the assistance for the Old Town folks for the, in addition to what the county commissioners came up with for reduction and the final assessment for those folks.
That was 25039.
39. Yes, you're right, it was. Oh, and then 38, we had Bob Carr was here for Next Gen 911. I think we're one of the only communities that still hasn't voted on that. But Mr. Carr did a nice job, I think, of kind of spelling out what the changes are going to be. Really, the changes for Kirtland is because we're already part of Willoughby's dispatch. Willoughby already handles our dispatch. We're kind of out ahead of the game on that one. So ask you guys to pass that tonight if you can.
Mayor, just on that.
Yep.
First, thanks for getting Bob here this evening. That helped clarify a lot, answer some questions. He did make a statement, though, that's going to come back, and that's, when is our contract up with the city of Willoughby for renewal?
It's actually this year, and so Chief McAllister, I don't know if Tony was there or not last week, but Chief McAllister already did meet with Chief Schultz over in Willoughby, just as a kind of an introductory meeting with everything going on in my world the last couple weeks. I said, let me get through that, and then all of us can sit down as a group. So
is that something that's going to be September, October timeframe?
Yeah, it'll be probably when we come back from our recess, we'll be all squared away and ready to bring something before council.
Lewis isn't here, but did we project an increase going into 26?
Why are you saying increase? We're not paying more.
Okay. Somebody mark that down.
It's also going to be dependent on if any of the other cities go in, obviously. If Ray Rocosa with both of us, unless we get 2 or 3 other cities under there.
Okay.
But yeah, so to answer the question more directly, yes, we're having those discussions now, and we'll be into some sort of negotiation here soon, and then bring it back to council and after the summer recess.
Okay. Thank you.
And then last but not least, Doug had mentioned, Mr. Courtney had mentioned 25R43. So if we can pass that tonight, we can get moving on the road program.
Okay. Anybody have any further questions for the mayor this evening?
For taking the gazebo down, are there going to be explosives involved? And if so, can I detonate them on the gazebo? Or we're just going to tear it down, are we? Okay. We're not going to implode them?
Mayor, do we anticipate that with the increase that we are anticipating for 911 services, that we may have less of the flexible money that we have had in the past in order to dedicate to the roads?
I mean, the more you spend on one thing, the less you have on something else. So, just whether it's 911, dispatch services, or a drainage project, or a new fire truck, or one takes away from the other. So, but we'll see what that new amount is. I mean, we're hopeful to come out as well as we can on that one.
Okay. All right.
I'll go right
Yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
Joe, side.
Go ahead.
All right. So Joe was just asking how much Bob said they were investing in equipment with the new police station. So, and I said $1 million is what he said. Upwards of $1 million.
So don't forget that $1 million also includes the actual, like the workstations and
Right.
other things as well, not just the technology.
Not just the equipment and technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as well as Willoughby had passed a safety levy last year that was to take over that building and enhance that building for its own police purposes outside of just dispatch. So
Gotcha.
it's a larger project, but this is obviously part of it.
Okay, thank you. Anything else for the mayor this evening? Okay, Mayor, thank you. Just going into standing committee reports, I do want to report that Planning and Zoning Standing Committee did meet this evening. We did vote to prohibit short-term rentals in the city of Kirtland. Recommend prohibited short-term rentals in the city. We are also going to ask for a separate resolution to refer it back to Planning and Zoning to go through and give us the recommendations of what that will look like.
Yes, so what'll happen is at the next meeting, I'll have the prepared ordinance to prohibit short-term rentals on the agenda. And with that will be the exhibit of all the changes. And then in addition to that, I will have a resolution prepared after we do first reading of that ordinance. Then we'll ask that council pass the other resolution, refer it to P&Z, and then they'll be able to take the ball from there. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And that recommendation is being done as a cautionary measure to get us back to zero, so it's not permanently decided that we're getting rid of it.
Correct. The way the proposed law is written right now with the state says if it grandfathers in any city or political subdivision that currently regulates short-term rentals. So what we are doing is we are exercising that right to regulate it. And we will, the proposal is to prohibit it right now. And then once it's regulated and prohibited, you could always scale back. Okay? The current law doesn't allow political subdivisions to regulate short-term rentals. So that's the reason for implementing this kind of faster tracked law at this point.
Really, it's kind of a retaining home rule a bit on this, but then we can
Yes.
make the adjustment. Not that we're against it, we'll make the adjustments after that's on, so we have it on the books.
Sure,
You know,
I
that
just
we
wanted to
can't
make sure
control
that
it, so.
in case people are reading the minutes, that they understand that this isn't us saying permanently forever, we don't want any. It's us saying we want to be able to take control. So we're going to make this decision for now until,
We may allow, after we put that on, and once we get,
sure. It's
we'll
the
go
same
through and
with
make
the
the
marijuana
stipulation.
rule that we did. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, good call out. Thank you.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So with that, going into correspondence, I'm not aware of any recent correspondence. Janelle?
No.
Anything? No. Mr. Lau? No?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So going into public comments on matters not on the agenda. You know the routine.
age before beauty, Sterling.
Oh, boy.
Sterling Coleman, 7636 Markel Road, Kirtland, Ohio. This is a follow-up to a conversation I had with Councilwoman Simons regarding mosquito control in the area. I believe we are to be sprayed sometime this week, at last I knew. This week, okay. In my 50 years here, this is the worst year we have ever had for mosquitoes, at least down on the river. I can recommend Dollar General as having one of the finest displays or offerings of mosquito repellent in the entire city, having shopped and looked for stuff to spray because I need it by the gallon. But when it gets to the point that the mosquitoes are in your eyes and you cannot get outside and you cannot apply repellent to your eyeballs, you need something else done to control it. So I am very happy. Any help you guys can get is much appreciated.
When did you notice? I noticed about a week and a half ago over at my sister's property, they got bad. When did you start seeing the mosquitoes particularly get bad? Just last week or two?
Well, whatever you get down along the river, I'm for it.
I think it was when the big rains came.
Joe, have they sprayed it all? So is this late? It's not, okay. Because I remember seeing them coming up and down my street and I pulled the kids into the house. And
Oh, you wouldn't let them outside?
I'd bring them in.
Someone right in the truck.
We used to chase it when we were
But
children,
it just
didn't
seemed
we,
like it
Joe?
was earlier. It seemed like earlier in the summer, but.
Just for the record, it's something that's handled by the
Right.
county public health, correct? Not handled by the city. The mosquito spraying is handled by the county public health, not by the city. There was a lot of confusion about whether we were spraying or not. Yep.
Joe, and how often do they come?
Oh, you,
Hey. Wow, I thought I remembered seeing them come more often.
Mr. Fernaro, with your experience going back, Mayfield and the other place you've worked, one time a year usually is enough, or have you ever requested a second?
We didn't spray in Mayfield.
Oh, you didn't spray them? Oh, okay. Have you ever requested?
Okay. Any further public comments not on the agenda?
I know I'm here to work, and I am, but as long as I had the opportunity, I guess, because you brought up the short-term rentals. Just personally, I've heard of a bunch of communities who've regulated them, and unless there's a...
Address.
Oh, Jim Gibbs, 10521 Grandview Drive. I've heard a number of communities that do this, and I apologize, I haven't been to the planning stuff there, but I haven't heard any major enforcement issues with short-term rentals, so the idea of prohibiting them just generally seems like a bit overzealous. But I understand the idea of getting it on the books ahead of time for the home rule aspect. Just wondered as a suggestion, we could also maybe, again, yield to the law director, but we could also put on the books to allow them, and then we have something on the books ahead of the schedule, and then we can still change that in the future without prohibiting it during this in-between time for people who already have them. Just a thought. But again, not a legal mind, just throwing it out there though.
I'll let Matt answer on that, but per the conversation amongst the P&Z committee, which was Ms. Grazia, Mr. Maker, and myself, none of us are against it, so to speak. It's more or less just to get it on the books and then make alterations and
Again, understood. Yeah,
inclusions
certainly
once
understood. But
I
I just wonder if, rather than prohibiting it now, why couldn't you just purposely allow it? And then you've drawn your line in the sand that we have local ordinance establishing our own authority over this.
It's I think what Mr. Smolk indicated, he was talking about home rule. It's not necessarily just exercising the home rule, because home rule, like, once you have it, you can't give it up, right? This is just a different grandfathering in. If you allow it, or if you're silent on it, then you can't regulate it. So it is a little bit different than just exercising home rule. If it's allowed, it's got to stay allowed. You can't claw back.
Okay.
You understand?
Allows the city to control it as opposed to.
So
State.
Well, you can allow it, but then can't restrict it more than you allowed it. But if you restrict it now, you can allow it more in the future. Is what you're saying?
correct. That's exactly right. You could always give some up. You can't take it back. So if we allow it, you can't prohibit it down the road.
I see.
Put any regulations on it of
Yeah.
any sort, not that.
Thank you. All right, that was it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay, moving on to old business. Another opportunity for public comments on matters of old business. Okay. Moving on to 25-R-32, third reading. Resolution authorizing all actions necessary to accept the Ohio EPA's H2 Ohio chloride reduction grant to the city for the purchase of 5 snow and ice controllers and the materials to install a brine maker for the service department and declaring an emergency.
Motion to declare an emergency and adopt?
Second?
Okay, Mr. Smolik with a motion to declare an emergency and adopt. Ms. Grazia with a second. Janelle, please call the roll. Oh, wait a minute.
Any discussion?
Discussion? Okay, now Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik,
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler,
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer,
Yes.
Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to 25-R-36, second reading. Resolution adopting a tax budget for the fiscal year 2026.
You need I'll make it a motion to waive the third reading. Need a second for that?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Smolik with a motion to waive the 3 readings. Ms. Simons with the second.
Mr. Lallo, quickly,
Yes.
and I apologize to all of council, either for not catching this or for bringing this up if you already did it. Public hearing?
We did it already.
Okay, then I was off.
I think you were
I gotcha.
escorting
Okay.
newly signed in officer.
Gotcha, thank you. Sorry, I just saw that on the,
Yep.
You good? Thank you.
Old council president habits die hard, huh?
Okay, so Mr. Smolik had a motion to waive the 3 readings. Ms. Grazia, second. Any discussion? Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik,
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler,
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer,
Yes.
Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
It would be a motion to adopt.
Need a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt?
A second?
Mr. Smolik with a motion to adopt. Ms. Grazia with a second. Any discussion? Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler,
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer, Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 25-R-37, resolution confirming the appointment of Frank R. Lyon to the Planning and Zoning Commission and declaring an emergency.
Motion to waive the 3 readings? Or second reading, or third reading, I should say. We had a second.
You're waiving the 3 readings.
You don't have to say third in particular. You could go 3, even though you had one already.
Okay, Mr. Smolik with the motion to waive the 3 readings. Ms. Grazia with a second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik,
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler,
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer,
Yes.
Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm looking for a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second?
Ms. Simons with a motion to adopt.
Actually, it would be a motion to declare an emergency.
Declare an emergency and adopt. Motion to declare an emergency.
Is that what
He
it
didn't
was?
say declare it.
Yes.
She
So
meant.
moved.
There we go.
A second.
Okay. Any discussion? Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer,
Yes.
Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 25-R-38, second reading. Resolution adopting the final plan governing all public safety answering points operating in Lake County, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Need a motion to waive the three readings?
Motion, wait for 3 readings.
Second.
Ms. Grazia with the motion to waive the 3 readings. Mr. Smolik with the second. Any discussion? Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Motion to declare an emergency and to adopt.
Second?
Mr. Smolik with a motion to declare an emergency and adopt. Ms. Grazia with a second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 25-0-39, second reading. An ordinance authorizing the city to contribute funds to Lake County for the Old Town Sewer Project and declaring an emergency. Need a motion to waive the 3 readings?
Motion to waive the 3 readings.
Second.
Mr. Smolik with a motion to waive the 3 readings. Ms. Simons with the second. Any discussion?
This was the, our contribution of $100,000 just for the public, to go along with the 1.1 million, I believe it was from the county, the Old Town Sewer projects.
And the assessment over there in that area is down to around $4,500, Mr. Courtney, over 20 years, which is a far cry, obviously, from what those folks were
Like an
expecting.
additional, what, 4,000 up per household, just about,
More than that, yeah.
That's awesome.
along with the mayor getting county and state funds of approximately 2 million before that, correct? From last year?
We all work together, yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, looking for a motion to declare an emergency and adopt.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Smolik with a motion to declare emergency and adopt. Ms. Simons with a second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 25-0-40, second reading. An ordinance authorizing the creation of the Ohio EPA H2 Ohio Chloride Reduction Grant Fund number 311 and declaring an emergency.
Motion to waive the 3 readings.
Second?
Okay, Mr. Smolik with a motion to waive the 3 readings. Ms. Grazia with the second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, looking for a motion to declare an emergency and adopt.
So move.
Second?
Mr. Smolik with the motion to declare an emergency and adopt. Ms. Grazia with a second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 25-0-41, second reading. An ordinance authorizing an advance of funds from the general fund number 100 to the wastewater treatment plant Rockwood Fund number 501 and Ohio EPA's H2 Ohio Chloride Reduction Grant Fund number 311 and declaring an emergency.
Motion to waive the 3 readings.
Second?
Okay, Mr. Smolik with a motion to waive 3 readings. Ms. Grazia with a second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, looking for a motion to declare emergency and adopt.
Motion?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Grazia with the declared emergency to adopt. Ms. Simons with the second. Any discussion? Okay. Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to 25-0-42, second reading, an ordinance amending ordinance number 25-0-26 relating to the appropriation for the year 2025.
I believe there needs to be an amendment to supplement or to replace Exhibit A with the updated exhibit that Mr. Slapnicker sent to council. And also, for discussions from last meeting, include as Exhibit B the summary of changes that Mr. Slapnicker had also sent to council.
Oh, with today's email.
It makes it more black and white as to what the exact changes are.
Okay.
A motion to amend.
To replace Exhibit A with the recently supplied exhibit from Mr. Slapnicker and add Exhibit B that defines a summary of changes.
Correct.
So moved.
Okay, need a second?
Second?
This is a resolution.
This is the
This is
amendment.
an
Amendment, sorry.
amendment. Correct.
Okay. Any other discussion
On the amendment.
on the amendment? Call the roll on the amendment? Do we need to call roll on that, or
Yes.
can we just go? Okay. Call roll. Janelle, please?
The second, was that Ms. Grazia?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, now looking for a
A
motion
motion
to
to-
waive the three readings.
Motion to waive the 3 readings.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Smolik with the motion to waive the 3 readings, Ms. Simons with the second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, looking for a motion to
Motion to
declare
approve.
emergency and adopt?
No, just adopt. Is
Oh, just adopt.
Motion to adopt.
there a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Seconded?
Okay. Mr. Smolik with a motion to adopt. Ms. Grassi with a second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to new business. Public comments on the agenda items of new business. Okay. Moving on to 25-R-43, first reading, a resolution accepting the bids of Specialized Construction, Inc. and Empire Paving LLC, awarding sections 1 and 1A, 2 and 2A, and 5 and V. What's V and VA?
5 and 5A.
5 and 5A. Okay, could you just put 5?
Roman numeral,
I know that.
different type of writing.
Okay, of the 2025 payment rehabilitation project and declaring an emergency.
What's IDX? What,
Don't.
Motion to waive the 3 readings.
Mr. Smolik with a motion to waive the 3 readings.
Second.
Mr. Ziegler with a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Portney, if these go through, approximately when would you expect them to start getting on roads then? August, September? What's their scheduling like?
Usually takes about a month to get the contracts prepared, get them to the contractor, get them back to the city so everything's executed. Then it's usually a week or 2 before a pre-construction meeting. And so I would think August.
Okay, I know it matters how we fall in line in the queue and how busy they are, that type of thing.
We're first in line, Mr. Smolik. We're first in line.
Hope so. I hope so.
We'll do it before the plan.
Any further discussion? Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, now I need a motion to adopt and declare an emergency. Declare an emergency and adopt. It's got me all twisted. All right.
I motion. There an emergency and adopt.
Second.
Ms. Grazia with the motion to declare an emergency and adopt. Mr. Smolik with a second. Any discussion? Okay, Janelle, please call the roll.
Mr. Smolik.
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Mr. Hamer.
Yes.
Ms. Grazia.
Yes.
Ms. Simons.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to council comments. Okay. Continuing concerns, last chance for the public if there's anything continuing concerns. Looking for an adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.